So he doesn't have that many brains because he just first few minutes. Anyway, so we're here with Derek Lunsford. He's no more a rising star. He is a star. In my last few years competing, Derek was one of the first, or if not the only, competitor ever to win his pro card, win a Olympia qualifier, and place top 5 in the Olympia, all in what, 30 days? 40
pretty
days?
Quick.
Yeah.
I think between USA's and Tampa was 6 days, and then I think we had about 6-7 weeks after Tampa to get ready for the Olympia. And man, it was crazy. That was the best year of my life, man. I got to stay next to guys like you and Flex, who I've been looking up to since day one. I mean, I texted you the other day. It's like, you're one of those guys, and one of the reasons that I'm here today doing what I'm doing. You got me, your videos actually got me through so many days of cardio and prep my first year competing. So it's crazy that I was able to do the Jay Cutler interview, because he was one guy too that, I looked up to a lot, and I was on his YouTube, and now I'm on yours. And like, I don't know, man, I'm just thankful that I'm able to even get to know you guys, step on stage with you guys. And yeah, man, just thankful.
Well, it's pretty awesome to have been there to experience it and watch you, along the way. And, I was just like you. I was the same way. Jay's only 2 years older than me, but when we were teenagers, I met him. I was 17. He was 19. Mm-hmm. He weighed about 260, and I was 160.
Jeez.
And I was like a little kid in awe of him, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And we're, basically the same age, but I was a child looking at a man. And he, even back then, he was the nicest guy you'd ever meet. Like, I knew this guy was going to be something special just by the way he carried himself. Does someone have a TV on or something? Or am I just echoing?
It's the echo.
Probably echo, yeah.
Oh, all right. All right. So I wanted to bring up a few things. One is, so Nate is a big fan of Bo Lewis, and he was down in P-Town a couple of weeks ago, and he picked me up this nice shirt. It's a what does it even say? Bear?
Yeah, Bear. Yeah.
Master Bear.
That's cool.
Yeah. Nate didn't even know that as a child that was my nickname in my family, because I always had huge hands. So they'd say, "Look at the paws on that bear." And now
say Bear again.
As an adult, Nate likes to call me Bear.
Say Bear again.
Yeah, Bear.
No, you said it like you see the movie Ted.
Bear.
Bear.
Bear. So that's one thing. Another thing I wanted to bring up was, did I see that you recently bought a house?
I did. I'm actually sitting in it right now.
Congratulations. That's huge.
Thank you. My fiance is over on the couch studying. She's got 1 semester left of grad school. So we've been very busy between my Olympia prep, her school, and us moving into this house. So yeah, thank you, man. This is our first home, together. So we're super excited. And like I told you, man, I just feel super, super blessed. I'm just so thankful. Like, maybe a year or two ago, I probably would have just taken it for granted. But now it's like, I almost don't even want to express how excited I am about it or show it off, because I don't know. I feel like as soon as that happens, boom, it's gone. So I'm just thankful and just enjoying it. But here, I'll give you I don't know if I can spin it around. I don't know if I can do that or not. Am I able to do that?
Little tour you play.
Either way, I'll just turn around like this. How about that? I don't know if you can
beautiful. See. Wow. That's a Florida home if I ever seen one.
Yeah, so we got the pool outside too there, but
oh, I love it.
But yeah.
Good for you, buddy.
So gonna have a lot of get-togethers. You have to come down and check it out.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, so what town or city are you in right now?
Well, I live kind of like on the north side of Tampa, more towards the Clearwater. There's little towns called like Dunedin or West Chase or Oldsmar. I live kind of right in that area. kind of northwest of Tampa.
And
so it'll take me about 35, 40 minutes to drive into Tampa.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Where are you training over there?
So I drive all the way to St. Pete, about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic. And I'm training at this place called Suncoast Fitness. And it used to be a huge Gold's Gym. And I've never heard of it before. And a while back after the Olympia last year, I got introduced to it by a friend. And I walked in and I'm like, man, this is my place. Like, this is the place I need to be to train my best. So that's why I drive about an hour away. It's got a lot of like the Strive equipment. You know what I'm talking about?
They have like 3 different levers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the original Prime, which is Strive. And then they got all kinds like Cybex, Hammer Strength, all kinds of different stuff. So a huge variety, but I don't know how many, I think it said it's 22,000 square foot, but it's got like an extra level too. It's a big place. And to be honest, there's not a lot of younger social gym goers, which is really cool. Like I like those gyms and all too, but I like to just bury my head and train, so.
It's different when it's your job as opposed to, the social aspect of going to the gym every night at 5 o'clock and seeing the chicks and the guys and dudes hanging out. It'd take you 3 hours to train.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you on that, but I guess I do have to mention that I've kind of shifted my mindset when it comes to bodybuilding this year, which is, for me, has worked out amazing. I'm just having fun with it again, man. Like, I don't look at it like it's my job. Like, yeah, obviously, I get paid to do this, which I'm very thankful for. Animal has sponsored me for a while, and I have Gas that's backing me up, and a couple others, Icon Meals and Protan. But I'm just enjoying it. I feel like the more I just love bodybuilding and going to the gym and training and having good training sessions, it's going to show on my physique and on show day. So the gym itself, you can bury your head and not be distracted, but it's kind of like the gym I think I've been searching for so long down here. It reminds me of Indiana. A lot of older folks go there, former bodybuilders, but not too many competitors and stuff like that, or younger people who like to show off a lot in the gym and things like that. So I just like to go there, work hard, and I've built a good friendship with a lot of people there. Like I said, a lot of them are older, 70s, 80s years old, and still bodybuilding shredded. Those are the guys I like. Those are my friends, man. That, and I got other friends down here too I've been training with, but thankful to be at that gym. That's why I drive an hour.
Do they have a like a posing room? Are they real bodybuilder friendly for you, or? As long as I'm respectful to everyone else, they're respectful to me. Yeah, they actually have 2 posing rooms. Like, I guess at Gold's Gym it's called the Gold Room. I'm not real sure, but it's like a dance studio. Okay. So there's like 2 dance studios that are in there, and sometimes they have classes. But when they're not having classes, I can just go in there and flip the lights on and do my posing routine and just practice my posing and stuff too. And as far as like slamming weights, going heavy and yelling, I mean, people just like seeing others work hard and not do it for any other reason than just wanting to better themselves. Right. Right.
Now, were you at Pekowski's gym training before, or was that the footage I've seen? Was that just filmed there a few workouts, or was that your?
Oh yeah, I trained at MI40. I did for actually 2018 and 2019's Olympia prep. 2018, Ben and I actually trained together. He pushed me like I've probably never been pushed before in my life. So for that, I thank him. He definitely taught me a lot while I was there. And just, I started thinking about it. I messaged him the other day and just told him how thankful I was. At the time, you don't really recognize how much somebody does for you until you look back and you go, wow, that was so many days and so many hours in the gym training. And he pushed me and wanted to see me just keep up in, my training. So Yeah, looking back on 2018, that, like I said, it was probably the hardest I've ever trained in my life, probably the hardest I ever will train in my life. And then 2019, that was about one of the most perfect preps until the end. And then, you know how the story goes. So this year, my coach and I
get into it, because you don't have to get too personal, but
yeah,
I've never heard it from your mouth.
Right.
What you think, how that prep went, you just said it till the end. What do you think happened? And I'm happy to hear you reflect that things didn't end up perfectly, because I know a little bit afterwards it's kind of hard for you to process. Like, man, I did everything right. I don't know what everyone's talking about. Like, I think I was perfect. And it was something you were struggling with, and I'm happy to hear you say we can always be better.
Totally.
Something happened.
Yeah. So I was asked by David Borlée. He asked me. He said, "Was 2019 my best prep? Was it my best showing?" I was like, honestly, yeah. I mean, the way I had trained all the way up from when I started to 2019 was my absolute best until I stepped on stage. And I'm not saying that you couldn't still make an argument or this and that, but regardless, yes, just moving forward and getting better is my focus now. So I'm going to give you two answers for why I think it went that way. The first answer, some people out there will be like, oh my God, this guy is a quack. But truthfully, this right here, my Christian faith, I truly, truly 100% believe in my heart that God was like, look, man, if you get this title, you ain't ready for it. Seriously. I think there was a little bit inside of me that like I was trying to block away just that like ego a little bit. It was like, no, I'll be fine. But I don't know. I just think that spiritually, I think he like put a stop to it and said, you need to do it for me and not for yourself. So I said, okay. But the other reason I would give would be, it was a combination of several things, man. People have mentioned that we introduced food too early in the week. I don't know if that's the case, but I definitely do remember that we didn't go very hard at all. When I mean we didn't go hard at all, we didn't do anything to manipulate my water really from the rest of the week. Like the day before, so the day of weigh-ins or whatever on Thursday, because our show's on Friday morning, Friday night. Thursday morning, I woke up dry as a bone. Didn't do anything different. Just woke up dry and nasty. I remember I looked at a video the other day and I was like, geez, that doesn't even look right. That doesn't look human. So we were like, okay, just keep pushing forward, 24 hours, we'll wake up and we'll just do the same thing again today. And so we could have backed off of drinking water a little bit more or cut it earlier. We could have, taken out a little bit of sodium or done some other things too, to make us drier. But I also remember that I was just kind of scatterbrained backstage. Like I remember that I just was like, oh, how's my oil? How's my tan look? How's everything look? Like, just kind of like make this the perfect moment. Like this has to happen right now in about 2 minutes. And along with that, I had zero sleep the night before, literally no hours of sleep. I could not sleep. My mind was racing the night before and I was up walking around, not even laying down with my feet up. And James, my coach, he wakes up in the middle of the night and said, what are you doing up? You got to lay down, man. I go, man, I don't know. Like I don't know what's going on with me. And from then on out, I don't know. I think it was supposed to play out that way, man. It happened that way. And that was one of the worst days of my life. I mean, it was embarrassing to say the least. Man, I keep calling it a big kick in the nuts. Very humbling, but it took me many, many months to get over it, to be honest with you. That sucked, man. That was awful. And I never want that to happen again. So that's why we're working overtime. And I think it goes back to what I said earlier was I'm just having fun again, man. Like I love this again. Like for a couple of years, I think I started making it a job. Like it was like, this is my livelihood. This is my work, like blah, blah, blah. Now I just love to go to the gym again and train and work out. Cause look, let's be honest, I'd be doing it anyway.
Right.
You know, I'd be going to the gym anyway. So why not at least embrace it, right?
Yeah. So
yeah,
let me interrupt you quickly. I think this is an amazing learning opportunity for not only yourself but people watching. When did you get to Vegas last year?
I think it was either, I think it was Monday. Yeah, for sure. Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens, and a lot of people don't adjust for this, but when you land in Vegas, not only did you just fly, but now you're in one of the driest places on earth, and you immediately, that's like taking a diuretic, just being in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So then over the course, if you don't adapt to make adjustments for that, you might look shredded Wednesday, peeled Thursday, and then flat Friday. You know,
Dude,
if you don't make adjustments for it. So you have to immediately hydrate when you get there to try to balance and get back to what you know is normal for you. And then you can do whatever it takes Thursday night to be ready for Friday. But I just heard you say, Thursday I looked unbelievable. So I'm like, fuck it, don't change anything, which is the right mindset. If you don't take into consideration those other factors. And that makes
that's a good point.
Sense, I know, because I would get there off the plane Wednesday and I'd be a buffalo. And I wouldn't even do anything. And by Thursday morning, I would be peeled, like dry. And I would have to, make these adjustments of, keep drinking, and try to excrete some water at the same time. Like, it's a weird process, where if I flew into Columbus, it would be a completely different story. I wouldn't have to make those same adjustments because it's a different environment. You have to take into consideration. When I flew to Kuwait, it was the same thing. I was so dehydrated just landing there. I ended up with crazy cramps backstage. Little fucking Clarita wouldn't give me any salt.
He's like that.
Oh, I'm like, you got something? He had a bag
of
muffins. He had a mountain of salt. He's like, sorry, bro, I got nothing. I was literally curled up in a ball in agony.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that's awesome to hear you. You're growing physically and mentally and maturity. You're figuring it all out on the run, where most people had 15 to 20 years to figure this out. You've had 3 years. Literally, I mean, you had a couple of years as an amateur, and then bam, you're on the Olympia stage. So you deserve a lot of leeway, a lot of wiggle room, which you're not getting. And I've spoken about this numerous times. When people are like, oh, you're so hard on Derek, I'm not hard on Derek. I think it's unfair what they've done to him. I think it's unfair the amount of pressure they're putting on him. He's the next heir apparent, and he has no fucking clue what he's doing yet. Don't put him in that situation. And then you're forced to answer questions that you don't know how to answer. And it makes you look like you're arrogant or you're not,
Yeah.
when the reality is you were put in an unfair situation with unfair questioning, and it's all a tribute to you and your success that you were put in that situation. And it's so refreshing to hear your change, that you're like, you know what? Yeah, I did fuck up.
Well, I think I was thinking about this. What was it, yesterday, or maybe it was this morning when I first woke up. I started thinking, man, like, how did I get here? Like not as far back as growing up to getting here, but I'm like, how did I get here the last few years of competing? And I think I was just such a super fan of bodybuilding, not just for myself, but watching guys like you and Flex battle it out. Man, I wasn't able to go to the Olympia until I actually competed. But 2016, 2015, my eyes were glued to the screen watching you battle with Flex. I'm like, come on, man, get him. You know, so I was such a super fan, man, that when I came in and competed in the Olympia, that like, you're right, I didn't really know anything. And it's not that it was unfair because of anyone else. I wanted it so bad that I did everything I could to get that. You know, whether it be train in the gym or stay disciplined to my diet. I mean, you ask anyone in my family at all, and they'll tell you that 24/7, 365, I'm a bodybuilder. Just within the last couple of years, have I been able to take a couple of weeks and go, okay, well, I'm going to force myself to go to this other country so I don't train and just relax. Because if I'm in this country, access to a gym, I'm going to the gym. I'm not able to relax. So anyway, yeah, man, I just wanted it so bad to where I was willing to do anything to get to where I'm at today. And I'm not upset about it at all. I'm thankful still for every single thing that's happened that's led me to here today. But that said, we're not stopping. We have to keep moving forward. You know, we can't reflect too much on the bad stuff that's happened or the good stuff that's happened. It's just, okay, how did I get here today, and where do I want to go to the future? And if you can just analyze that and think about in the present, again, while being happy and enjoying it, I think that future is going to be bright, and you are going to learn as long as you keep moving forward. So I think one more thing is that, remember I said, I was like, you know, God put a stop to it, said, hold on, you're not ready. I think it's because I felt this kind of way that like I was getting it figured out. Like I do have it figured out. And I think anyone, I would throw you in there and say, if you think you got it figured out, I think that's when you're going to stop getting better. So and that goes for anyone. So I started thinking, I got it figured out. Here we go. I'm the man, you know? And now I am in this mindset of I'm ready to learn and grow again, but I don't need specific advices from every individual. I will take everything with a grain of salt now. Like I don't take everybody's words 100% for how they are sharing them with me. So I say, okay, thank you, you know, for good advice, bad advice, whatever, or just nonsense. And I just kind of started living my own life again, you know. Since I started bodybuilding, I stopped living my own life and I started listening to everybody else and trying to chase the hype and where am I going next? And now I'm settled down in this house that I'm, again, thankful for with my fiance. I got some of my closest friends that moved down from Indiana that's here with me now, spending time with me and training with me. And it's just good, man. My real life is good. And now everything else is fitting into place.
Nate?
That's awesome to hear. It's one of these things when you were talking about last year's Olympia and not sleeping the night before, reminded me of Ian Valliere, like Tampa Pro. You know, it's a very recent example of how much hype there was going into the show versus Hunter. Hunter also had that hype, kind of like you, of just recently turning pro, huge expectations.
Right.
And it seemed like it got to Ian in that show, and his physique completely fell apart. You know, just in the simple things like the tan and stuff that for somebody that's enough of a veteran as he is, having a baseline tan that's adequate should be a really easy thing to take care of. But it shows you if your head is so pulled outside of the game in other directions, you can screw that stuff up, and
Totally.
whole prep can be wasted within the last couple of days of not being in the right mindset. So go ahead.
I was gonna say, I totally agree with you. And that's why, you know, it was so hard for me to say, man, how could I have been any better? Because the prep went so smooth, you wouldn't even believe. I mean, it was tough. Bodybuilding's never easy, you know, but it just, everything was clicking at the right time. And I was like, how could I possibly show up any better than I already am right now, you know? And so when, after the Olympia last year, I was like, that was my all-time absolute best. There's nothing that I could have done in that prep that would have been any better. But like we just talked about, at the end, things were a little different. And I think one more thing going off of the Ian and myself, what do you want to call it? Prep, whatever. What just happened with Ian and what happened with me last year is that kind of goes to show how important that your support group is. So this is, though I've always said it, even from day one, I've said this, even though I'm the one on the stage, man, there is a team behind me. They might be saying Derek Lunsford, they might be putting my picture up, but at the end of the day, I got James Brown as my prep coach and good friend. I got my good friends and family to support me. You've seen, by the way, have you seen my mother's transformation?
I was waiting to bring her up.
Dude,
but
unbelievable.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Go ahead. She's more important than me.
I didn't want to call you son just yet, but now.
Okay. How do I leave this?
We've been talking.
Every time she's like, "Oh my God, Jose liked my thing." Jose commented.
Yeah,
like,
she looks awesome. She's working hard. It's so cute to see. How into it she is. She's.
Oh yeah.
And now you're starting to see where the genetics come from. She's like this.
Oh my God. This is unbelievable. I mean, I always knew she was a strong woman. Yeah. But I feel like she's never actually followed through with something for herself, for her, you know what I mean? She's done different things here and there, but life all of a sudden, another priority comes and she said, okay, I'm second. She's so selfless. It's unbelievable. So for her to finally be like, I'm going to do this. And me as her son going, hey, look, this is a lot harder than you think it is to compete. She's like, no, I'm going to do it. And this is a couple years ago. And actually at the time I was coaching her in 2017 roughly or something. And I said, well, if you're actually serious about competing, why don't you find yourself a real coach? I've coached a lot of people, but I'm your son. Let's get real here, So why don't you go and get yourself another coach that you trust and just take it from there. And she's taking it week after week, month after month, and 2 years have went by now, and she has been on it to the T. Listen, this woman didn't even know how to work out. No joke. She would go into the gym and it was literally as horrible as it could get. She just would look around and she would come up to me and say, what do I do? I don't even know what these machines do. To fast forward to now to where she's had a personal trainer in person every day. And she's just taken it upon herself to be her best. And the transformation is ridiculous.
Has she picked a show, a date, an actual event?
So her plan is to do the Mel Chancey show.
Oh, down there in Florida.
Yeah. So she was wanting to do her first show in Evansville, Indiana, or Indianapolis, Indiana, where we're from. And just the way the show's dates lined up this year with the COVID and how they were being canceled, she wasn't sure. And then her progress was kind of up and down with the quarantine. My stepfather actually had gotten sick and had to have surgery too. So that kind of, happened. But finally I was like, hey, I'm getting this place. You want to come check it out? She goes, I'll just come down there and do the show and I'll stay with you. And I was like, oh, perfect. So it works out. And so that's a few weeks from now.
Oh, so she'll be down there soon. So when is the actual show? Is that
October? I want to get it right because this is a shout out from Mel too. So. Oh, listen to that. She's my fiance. Jelson's telling me October 10th. Yeah, it's the 10th.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
That's right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
That's 6 weeks.
Yeah, so I have a couple events going on before then, and then she'll be down here to my grandmother. My grandmother. She loves you more than
Carol. I love her. Give her a big hug.
I'm sure she'll be watching this.
Good.
Yeah. So the whole family's coming down to support her.
I bet that's a beautiful thing. I wish her luck. I know she's going to do awesome.
Thank you. I'm very proud of her. She's awesome.
She's in the over 35 Masters.
Just barely.
Yeah. So So listen, I want to go back to recognize something, to give people a little bit of perspective. You've placed twice second at the Olympia, twice, to two of arguably the greatest bodybuilders of all time at what they do. You know, Flex Lewis goes without saying. But a lot of people don't know who Kamal is because he's from overseas. But he is the winningest bodybuilder ever. Between his world championships, I think he won something around 10 world championships. That is the most obscene thing ever. That's like winning 15 nationals in a row. You know what I mean?
That's really that's impressive. I actually didn't even know this. This is news to me.
He's won 10 world championships, 5 Arnold Classics, 5 Asian championships. Wow. He is in the list of people that he's beaten is ridiculous. He is the greatest international competitor of all time. Because the world championship used to be the mark of how great you are, you know. And not only did he win it, but he won it 10 times.
That's insane. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, he is the greatest. So for you to play second and push him and arguably beat him is a feather in your cap, you know. So it wasn't a failure. It was a failure because, you know, you go to win. But in reality, you know, he has shoes older than you, you know.
Probably so.
Yeah, you know, he's, I think, 48, 49 now. And the most insane physique. But it just puts things in perspective how good this guy really was. A lot of people didn't know who he was. They're like, oh, you know, but the more you look at the guy, you cannot break him apart. You're like, well, that's there. It's not overwhelming, but that's there too. You know, he's not missing anything, and he's completely peeled. He's not huge. He's not small. That's one of the annoying things. You can, like, look at your physique and be like, oh, I'll smoke that guy. Look at my shoulder width. Look how small my waist is. Look how big my back is. And then that's not how they judge. They're like, wow, this guy, you can't break him down.
That was another thing, too, is that I wasn't preparing for the judging either. And I should have known to not come in so big and full and round. And for me, it was like at all costs, be big and full and huge and smoke these guys.
Yeah.
Again, that was my mindset last year. You have to think the year before, 2018, I didn't like how I looked. I thought that was my all-time worst, actually, peak. My body just felt so exhausted. And that's why I said earlier is I'll probably never train as hard as I did in 2018. I think it was leading up all the way to the end of the show. I was 3.5 hour training sessions every day. I mean, it was unbelievable stress on my body and my CNS.
That's like a week of training for us.
Dude, I trained so hard for 2018. It was unreal. And I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't go back and be like, nah, let's not do it. Go so hard. No, I know how hard I can go now. And so it's almost like I have to rein it in a little bit. And that's what we did last year. And it worked out great. And that's what we're doing now. And things are clicking now. But you have to understand is that 2017 happened where I was an amateur. I turned Mr. USA, Tampa Pro, Olympia. And I was like, okay, you know, I want to take on you and Flex and Amon and everyone, David. It's like, I was like, okay, now I have to win this show. Like, I'm top 5 and I have to set my mind to where I can beat you guys. And again, that was at the time the way I thought then. And what happened was I felt like I came in really flat and just tired looking. You know, if you go back, I think 2018, I looked tired and flat. And so nothing was really popping like crazy. And so I said, okay, James, for 2019, I want to be big and round and full as possible. Full as a house. If there's anything less than full as a house, it's not what I want to do. So he's like, okay, all right, we'll come in super full and yada, yada. So I have to take some responsibility on that one for saying, hey, I want to be this big and full.
What you asked for?
Yeah, it was. And I think we nailed I think we still could have pulled off some more water for like the night show, you know, But I think now we need to just come in a little bit sharper and drier. And I think at that point, look, I'm not trying to build a case. I'm not trying to just put me up against Kamal or anyone, but I think when that happens, I think you are going to see the difference in the bodybuilding bodies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do look to have a much better year this year.
Derek, after last year's Olympia and the disappointment just in knowing how you looked the day before to show day, was there thought about picking a show after the Olympia, something before this year's Olympia, to either get another go at it for you and your coach to perfect the last few days, or just redemption for yourself? Or was it no question, just sit out a whole other year and wait for the Olympia?
Every year I've talked to James about me doing another show, and it's not like he's against it, but we just have to think about what the real goal is. What's the real game plan? And I did ask him, like, hey, what do you think about maybe jumping into a show, before the Olympia this year, and not after last year's Olympia, but this season. And so we kind of talked about it. And then when I came back the first of the year, I started training from the Philippines, had a little Philippines trip first of the year, came back, started training hard again. And I was like, all right, my body's shaping up. Maybe we really can push and do another show. And then boom, COVID. So it was like, okay, what's going on now? So at that point we realized time to just focus on the Olympia, because we didn't know. We were like, if there is one. Now it's pretty certain that there's going to be an Olympia and there's other shows following, but we were just like, what's going on here? So that's when we visited that conversation. We thought, nah, just Olympia this year. I'm excited to compete. I'm excited to just keep getting better. I thought I was going to say something earlier, but I forgot.
It seems like for your physique, we'll call it the critics, as a whole, whatever that means. The criticism you've probably heard is not that you need to be bigger, because you're the biggest guy up here, right? Better. And whether or not that's the process the last couple of days and just being full and dry at the same time.
Yes.
I'm no expert in this, but it seems to be like, because you're still so new to this, as Jose was saying, you just got thrust in from winning your pro card to winning a pro show to now, after your first Olympia, you're the next in line. You're the guy that's expected to get it, right? And it seems like you just need more experience learning your body, which means more shows. Like, I have no doubt you get 3 more shows out of the way with now how you're viewing things and trusting your coach. You guys will figure this shit out. And then you'll just be deadly every time. But it seems like it's just a matter of learning how to pull back training the right amount, you guys are still figuring out all of these little variables.
So I don't know what Jose would say to this. It's kind of a question, actually. But so if he said, like, let's pull the trigger right now, let's jump in a show early, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it. I'm motivated. Come on. But I think our game plan has always kind of been like, we want to be fresh and ready for the Olympia, like come in on show day and smack it out of the park. I don't know what Jose thinks about that. As far as I know, he competed all year long and didn't care. He's like, I'm going to every show and competing. I don't know. Throw your 2 cents in, Jose.
Well, I think how you've done it so far, I partially agree with it, because you were thrust into that situation where you're the heir apparent. So you have to focus on being that. But I think you would have benefited from competing more, getting in front of the fans more, meeting more people, growing your brand even more,
Right.
and growing the division. It's tough for promoters to promote the class with all second-tier competitors. And it's no offense to them, no disrespect. But with you not there, Kamal not there, Clarita not there, all you guys are gunning for the #1 spot. It's hard to promote a good show with no Olympian, no legit Olympian.
Sure.
And, that's kind of why I was always like, no, I'm doing it. I'll do a show. I'd talk to promoters year round. You meet them at the Olympia, take their business card.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm in New Zealand. I'm in Kuala Lumpur. I'm like, yeah, I'll come do it. You pay for the flight and hotel. I'll be there. And I always did it. Korea, Japan, whatever. And that's how I was able to grow a fan base and meet different people and help promote the division. Competed in India, in England, in all those places. It was a great way to help. To this day, the most exciting lineup in a 212 show was in England. It wasn't at the Olympia. It was in England when Flex won and Sammy was second. I was third. Eduardo was fourth. Bonac was fifth. It was nuts. Craziest lineup ever, and that helped the division. And today I think some of the guys aren't competing enough. And particularly with you, I think 212 is only a stepping stone. Like, you're not going to be able to do this at 31 years old because you're going to be 225 on stage. You're just growing by leaps and bounds, and your best physique is not going to be at 212.
I definitely had to take a step back, like I said, the last couple of years, and not. I don't want to, man, this sounds so terrible, but I told you I had to rein myself back in a little bit. Almost not train to my fullest ability in my off season. If I do that, you start eating more, you start growing more, right? I mean, so yeah, so you almost have to like force yourself away just a little bit and then come back and start over and work, all the way to the, through the prep again. But I don't know, man. I'm, like I told you in the beginning, I am really, really happy with the progress that I've made the last couple weeks and months. And I'm just loving bodybuilding again. So who knows? I'm just taking things week to week, month to month. Obviously, I'm doing the 212 Olympia this year, and the goal is to win that, to redeem myself and make that happen. But that's going back to your whole should I compete more and things like that. That's kind of why I was excited about the Rock show, though. Yeah. Was with AthleticCon coming, I was 100% down for that. I'm ready to roll right after the Olympia, do the Olympia, then do the AthleticCon. But this year has been a wild ride, and to be honest with you, you got to give it to the people running this industry, right? Jim Mannion, Steve Weinberger, Dan Solomon, Jake Wood, all of them, man. Like
Tim Gardner.
Tim pulled it off, man. He kicked it off, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was awesome, man. So
I think he just ran the New York Pro as well.
Well, yeah. So I was there, and yeah, Tim was definitely there helping out. Everybody was there. That's what's awesome too about this year is that even though so much was going on in the beginning of the year and still going on in the world, people thought, oh my God, what's going to happen to bodybuilding and people are going to go to the gym and this. People are more excited to go to the gym and compete now than I've ever seen ever.
Yeah, because we've been held without it,
People are excited. They just want to go do it now. So going to these shows, man, everybody's just so happy at the shows. Whereas before you have a group over here, group over there. I mean, everybody have a good time always, but this time it's like a bodybuilding party at every show. Because I went to the Tampa Pro and I went to the New York Pro. So yeah, it's a good time, man.
That's the best. That's what I love most about it.
Oh yeah, it's a party.
Positive energy people in the world, when we all get together, it's awesome. You might not see someone for 8 months, and you see him, and it's like, hey,
hey, what's up?
Yeah. So I got a question that is unrelated to this, but we've spent some time with Evan in the last few weeks, and we shot a training video with him. We did a podcast with him, and for my money, I mean, next to Jay Cutler, Evan is the most respected bodybuilder in the world. Like when it comes down to how you'd want to conduct yourself, how you'd want your son to
right.
behave, there's no one quite like Evan. What is it like to be on the same squad as him, the same company? And what things have you taken away from your experiences with him?
Oh, man. I love that you asked me that. Well, first and foremost, what's so cool, let me just take it back to when I first got with Animal. So let's see, 2015, 2016, I was at the Arnold Classic. I'm an aspiring amateur bodybuilder.
With that year.
Yeah, so I'm all excited. This is my first couple times being at the Arnold Classic, and I look to my friends. I'm like, man, you know what? If I just give it like 3 to 5 years, man, I'm gonna be behind one of these booths. Like that was my motivation. I'm like, I'm gonna be one of these guys behind here. And so it was crazy because the most memorable 2 people I met at the Arnold in 2015 was Frank McGrath and Evan Simtaplani. And it just so happened, and one of the first supplements I ever took was the Animal Pack product. This is no BS. This is, I said this way back then too.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, so, and actually, James, my coach, is the guy that sold it to me, Animal Pack. So anyway, it's just crazy how the world works. But I just remember that everybody I talked to, I don't remember if I don't think I met you in 2015 at the Arnold, but I talked to Evan and Frank, and it was just like whatever they said to me just clicked at the time, man. They were just so humble and so down to earth and gave me some good advice. Because I did, of course, I was that guy. I was like, how do you get a sponsorship, you know? And you're like, well, you know, and they were super, super nice with those questions and stuff. And I was like, all right, man, I'm going to be behind one of these booths. And then in 2 years, 2017, right before USA's, Animal got a hold of me. And actually, I had met Ed Connors. And Ed Connors sent an email to Animal. And that's how we got together. But once again, I was a super fan, just like going to the Olympia, compete with you guys, to being able to, the first time I trained with Evan, man, we did a chest workout at the Arnold Classic 2018, and first time hanging out with him, first time working out with him. And I felt like a puny little kid next to him. We did the same workout, obviously. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, throw another plate on the bench press. And I'm like, dude, I can barely get 315 right now. And he's like for like a couple reps, he's like, really? I was going to do like 20. And I was like, man, you're going to have to take another plate off or something. I can't do this. So he smoked me in the workout, and it was good, man. We trained in different places. Went to Germany together. We actually went to, Evan and I went to the Haribo gummy bear place the last time we were at FIBO in Germany. So that was kind of cool. Have you been to one of those?
Baby voices?
No, but they had every gummy bear, and they even had Arnold Schwarzenegger's face as a gummy bear. Yeah, it was really cool. And it was like an official, like Arnold Schwarzenegger signed this. But it was just, that's what's been the most memorable for me, is being able to go on these trips with Animal and the other athletes and the men and women that are actually running the companies too, Universal Nutrition and Animal. Like they're a family-owned business, man. They're a huge business, but they're a family-owned business, and most of the people in the office have been there for 30 plus, almost 40 years, and they're just super down-to-earth good people. And it's always great to go see them when I do photo shoots or training videos and stuff out in New Jersey, because they're based out of New Brunswick, New Jersey. And so it's cool to go talk to everyone in the office, all the men and women up in there. And pretty much everybody has some sort of physique goals or training goals, which is really cool. You know, younger people and older too. So everybody is living the bodybuilding or powerlifting or some sort of fit life behind the brand. So it's no joke, no BS. And I'm very thankful to be with Animal. I hope this relationship lasts for many years. So,
well, they're a very loyal company. I know that you know, Vinny Galanti was with them for 17 years or something, and Evan's been with them for 13 years, or if not more. Right. So they're very good to their people. So the likelihood of you staying there for a long time is very good, especially if you just keep being you. You know, being successful and doing what you do.
Well, that's like what I said, why I said that I'm thankful for everything that's happened up to now. Like even the bad stuff that I'm like, man, I wish I could have won the Olympia last year, or I wish I could have done this, that, or said that different, or what. I'm like, you know what? I can't go back and do anything different. So I'm thankful for where I'm at. I've learned a lot of lessons, and I'm still going to continue to learn more lessons moving forward. But that's the point of life, man. If we had it figured out, it'd be boring. Be ready to just call it quits. So you have to almost like embrace and look forward to the struggles and trials and challenges, because that's the opportunity to actually grow and become better. Just like being under like a squat bar or a leg press, and that pressure is heavy at the time, but that's your moment to get better, and either you own it or you don't.
Right. Nate.
Derek, how has your training changed from 2018, the Pukowski stuff? So that's, I guess, for those that aren't familiar, at least the footage I've watched of Ben training people, training with you, and other videos of you training with another trainer under the MI40 gym is very, very slow mind-muscle connection, right? The person who grew up watching Ronnie Coleman's training video would look at that.
They would hate that.
And obviously, you know, you've been called out a bunch by Guy Cisternino. You know, I'm the hardest trainer. As he'll say, I'll bury him. You know, shit to you for a while.
Yeah.
Has your training changed at all from that style, or have you found that style actually is the best for you, and you just pulled back the volume and made it a shorter workout?
No, I have to admit, like I said, I'm thankful that I learned all that. I went through the hours of training and the entire prep, but I feel like I needed to take what I learned that worked well for me and kind of implement it back into my old style of training, just with more knowledge of actually why I'm doing things and for what reason. People do make the comment that it's very slow and you're not going that heavy, but I'll be honest with you, man, like it doesn't look super impressive always in videos and pictures, but I can guarantee you, if I put you underneath that hack squat and make you go down and come back up as many times we did with the tempo that we did and full control, that's the thing. It's not, hey, I need you to go slow. It's, I need you to control every little millimeter of this rep and squeeze your ass off the entire time. So it is the most intense reps and sets that you'll ever do, because it's time under tension, but it's constantly squeezing as hard as you can, but loading it to the max, to the point where, you know, somebody, if you're doing, like, for example, doing hack squat, somebody's literally lifting you up at some point, like, come on, another. So these sets might last 2-3 minutes long, you know? And imagine 3.5 hours of constant training. Like, you take a little bit of a break and then you go back and do another 2-minute set, you know, and you're just constantly beating yourself down more and more and more. I think that is a great style for people that can't find a good mind-muscle connection with certain muscles. And because it is proper biomechanics. But I just think that the way I don't want to say I know my body and whatever, but I just feel like the way I've been training last year and this year, and even before, might have been a little bit better for the package that I want to bring to the stage, you know? So yeah, it's intense training and it's very specific, but I don't think training for 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and very time under tension, slow, controlled reps at the end, like last couple weeks, I don't know that that's going to be exactly what I need. I think being able to, I don't want to say be sloppy, but pick up the tempo a little bit. And if you're engaging other muscles while you're doing the exercise, like, that's a little okay too. Whereas we were trying to isolate every specific muscle and just hammer it as much as we could. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. So in one of the things, like my way of, when I first started training, way before I met Jose, I met a guy in the Boston area that was like the Charles Glass of the East Coast, had worked with Mike Matarazzo, Paul DeMeo, and a lot of these guys, coaching them for some of their early shows. And his stuff, we used no weight. We were doing side lateral raises with 15-pound dumbbells.
Yeah.
Crush you with it, right? Every 2-second hold, no momentum, just using the muscle you were trying to use.
Right.
And I got a lot out of that, especially starting with that early on, because most people, when they start, don't have that mind-muscle connection. It's move the weight from point A to point B. But I only got so big doing that because the focus was never on progressive overload
Exactly.
as the priority, right? The focus was on perfect form, time under tension.
Yes. Right.
And when I started training with Jose, it was a nice little hybrid of, for a lot of stuff, Jose does this 4-4-4 rep scheme where the first 4 reps are like a normal tempo, just lifting the weight. The middle 4, we're really focusing on contracting the muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And the last 4 were a lot more explosive. So the combination of that is that balance of mind muscle connection while still throwing some heavy weight around, kind of a hybrid. And that's worked really well for me.
I have never heard of his 4-4-4 method. I've watched many of his videos, but I have to say that's actually kind of how I got into bodybuilding. Was I watched his videos, I watched Jay Cutler's videos, and I said, I'm just gonna mimic what they do. Like I'm seeing it, I'm gonna go do it. You know, head to the gym right now. So that's what I guess you could say that's my style, which it's not. I just learned it from these guys, and that was the first time when I came down here in 2018, the first time ever I've ever actually legit been trained by someone else. So I had never actually spoken to someone and said, hey, like, am I doing this right? Like, I just went to the gym and did it, right? And so over the last few years, I just learned more and more and more through the experience. Plus, you know, I have, you know, picked some brains of some people that I respect, and obviously learning from Ben. So yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that there's a huge benefit to the MI40 style training, and not just but time under tension and slower, more specific reps. But I think there needs to be, in bodybuilding, I think there needs to be a hybrid of all types of training. You can't train like a powerlifter and expect to be a bodybuilder, but you also can't expect to do just time under tension or lightweight. You have to combine it all, and whatever is going to be the best on your body today in the gym, right? Like if I go to the gym and I'm feeling strong, I'm probably going to go heavy, you know, and push the reps. If I'm not, then maybe I need to switch gears.
Is that a regular thing? The workouts or were you exaggerating? Were they really 3 hours long or?
Yeah, I remember there was many times it was mostly on like leg day or something where we would have a lot of days we would be like 3.5 hours training.
Or chest or back? I mean,
chest would probably be more like 2.5.
Oh,
2.
God.
Yeah.
So
and I don't.
Listen, Ben is a very bright guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not going to scientifically debate whatever he believes or does, but that goes against everything that the brightest minds in bodybuilding have ever advocated. When you think of Dorian Yates, one of the most successful guys to ever put on muscle like that, or Mike Manser, all their theories they'd be done in 25 minutes, half an hour, you know. For us, you know, we train, it might take us an hour because we're dicking around, but it would take me 35 minutes to do shoulders, you know, maybe 50 minutes to do back, an hour to do legs. You know, I could do arms in 25 minutes.
The thing is, dude, that's why I keep coming back to you have to love to go to the gym and work out and train. So what I really mean by that is, look, we know how to train. I mean, I would say pretty well for the most part, we know how to train.
Yeah.
But when you get so specific and this is the way you have to do it, and the logbook says this, so I have to do this today specifically at this time and this order. No, man, that's what I'm saying. It's like, no, just go to the gym and work out the muscle. That's it.
I've said that numerous times. Nate and I have talked about it. Like, Guy Sistanino is a logbook guy. And you know, it works for him. I could never write something down because, you know, then I get to the gym and I either feel like shit, my shoulder's tweaked, and I just messed up my workout. Or I feel like $1 million and I'm only supposed to do lightweight today, but I can squat 600 pounds for reps, you know? I can't let a logbook dictate how my day is going to go.
It would ruin me mentally, man. Like my biggest thing was I always have such high expectations for myself, especially in the gym training. So when I would go to the gym, and even now I don't have a logbook. I never had a logbook, but I think it's great. I think people can have a logbook. I think it's great for them, but I just never have. what I'm saying is, you know, some days, like for today, I'm going to go train legs later. And, you know, let's say I woke up this morning, I'm ready to smash it. Like, let's have a high volume day. Let's go heavy and intense, and let's just murder it for 3 hours, because that's what I want to do today. And I get to the gym today, and let's say I'm like, oh man, my knee's bummed out, or like, oh man, I don't feel strong today. What's going on? Like, I have to go heavy. Like, today was my day to go heavy and intense, but I feel like dog shit. You know, there's a fine balance of, are you just being a sissy, and are you not actually putting in the effort? You just think you're tired and not working hard enough, or should you, like, just, like I said, switch gears and do something a little bit different, and don't get discouraged that you didn't do the exact workout that you thought you were supposed to do. Just go do something. Just go do something and have fun and work hard and leave the gym. I always say this: if you leave the gym and you think you could have done more, you probably could have. If you leave the gym and you think you had a pretty awesome workout, you probably did.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I mean,
Derek, I wanted to ask you, speaking about training in gyms, I saw footage recently of you training at Carbon Culture, Brandon Curry's.
oh yeah,
Was that the new Murfreesboro location that you went
dude,
to?
that place is awesome. Yes.
So Jose and I are going out there for their grand opening party.
See you there.
Yeah. Oh, you're out there. Awesome. We'll have to.
As of today, I texted Brent.
Oh, that's incredible. So we're so looking forward to being out there. You know, not only to just get away for a little bit, hang with all of the great bodybuilders that'll be there, but to train in that gym with the equipment that they have. We had
Oh yeah, it's awesome, man.
Early on, basically saying he cherry picked his favorite stuff from Oxygen.
Yo, it is badass. I had a back workout there a couple weeks ago. Me, my coach James, and a couple friends, Turner, and some other friends, all met up there and decided to train back, and we crushed it, man. A lot of Arsenal strength equipment, and I'm like you just said, there's so many different brands in there, so many different pieces of equipment. It's clearly been hand selected by someone. So
that's beautiful. I can't believe that's exciting.
Yeah, actually, I was supposed to have an event in Grand Rapids, Michigan that weekend. It's September 19th and 20th or something. Yeah. So I was supposed to have an event in Grand Rapids, Michigan, doing a seminar for Mike Vrujink at a couple different local gyms. He always puts on the Grand Rapids bodybuilding show and the NPC show, and I've guest posed for him for the last couple of years, and this year they weren't able to have it, so we were doing something different. Now that will be moved to October 5th. Is that the first weekend?
Ask your girl, she's quicker.
I know. Let's see, October 3rd and 4th. That will be in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but September 19th and 20th will be the Carbon Culture Murfreesboro location grand opening. So I'll be there too.
That's exciting. When do you get in, Friday or Saturday morning?
Probably get in Friday night, leave Sunday morning or Sunday sometime.
Okay, cool.
Probably. I literally just messaged him a minute ago before I got on this call.
We're going to do a workout Friday afternoon.
Okay.
We'll stay in touch. If you're going to be there, you can train with us.
It'd be fun. I like that, yeah.
We're going to do like a little video on the gym itself, showing the gym, and then obviously us training naked in the gym.
Hey, they don't care, man. I strip down and pose. They got really good lighting too, by the way.
No, I'm talking just trunks.
That's what I'm talking too, man.
Yeah. All right. Good. This is gonna be a good.
Jose will have his mask on. It won't be on his mouth, but he'll have the mask on. That mask rule.
Yeah.
It's cool there, man. There's a variety of people too, and some pretty big guys in the gym training, or at least when I was there. That was the first day, man. So I look forward to be a crazy event.
Trains out of.
What's that?
That's where Bo trains out of.
We were supposed to train that day together, and something came up to where he wasn't able to do it.
Something came up. You had like 4 pairs of pants on.
I definitely came packing in that way.
I'm gonna wear a snowsuit around that guy.
I know. I swear to God, if I have to line up at the Olympia.
Forget about it. I can't wait to interview his penis.
I will wait till the second, the next 5.
So we've had enough of your time. I really appreciate it, but I got 2 more things for you. This is a Nate question, and this
Oh
is
boy.
very apropos
Oh.
with a young gentleman like yourself. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Because you're only 27.
Yeah, 27. Well, as I sit here right now, I've been thinking about that. Me and my fiance actually have talked about our own personal and life goals, so that they match up and they flow together. You know, she's going to be done with her physical therapy program in roughly May. So that'll be nice. She'll finally be moved in here for good and starting to work and do her thing. I know that we would eventually like to have a gym and a physical therapy practice kind of side by side, you know? So that's more of her baby than it is mine. But I think, I don't know. I don't want to say, hey, we're opening up a gym in a couple years, but our goal is to have her physical therapy practice for sure. And the gym would be probably my baby at that point. So that's probably 3 to 5 years is to do that as far as business wise. There's a couple other products that I think would be great in the bodybuilding community. Won't share that just yet, but I don't know, man. I really right now just enjoy bodybuilding, and I just keep coming back and saying that. Obviously, I'm on prep, and so my mind is focused on this year's Olympia. But I just like going to the gym and training with my friends and just having a good time, man. And once this year's over with, we'll see what happens, man. We got next year's Olympia. Could be 212, could just keep growing, or we'll see, man.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. More specifically, within 5 years, would you like to see yourself in the open, banging heads with the biggest of the biggest, at your max potential? Or would you take the trade-off of being 4-time 212 Olympia champion?
I definitely do want to,
That it's a good question.
Yeah, I just don't know how I want to answer it because I'm motivated to keep training hard.
All right, so you're going to be an open competitor in less than a year.
Well, I don't know about that, man, because here's the thing, man. If I can be very competitive in the 212, you know, I may want to stay there for a minute and just see how well I can keep doing in the 212. But if I come off this year, next year, or the year after at any point, and my body just will not hang on to, or it wants to grow, it will not hang on to the lower weights, then what do? Do you knock off 30 pounds of muscle? Because right now I'm probably knocking off 15.
What do you weigh today?
I'm pretty light right now. I'm like 239, 240.
Yeah, that's light. So what was the heaviest you were this year in 2020?
255. But that's me not trying. That's me literally barely eating anything.
Right.
And doing no cardio.
Right. So if I were, and put it this way, you went to the New York Pro, you saw that show, right?
Yeah.
You think 100%, even the Derek Lunsford that was at the Olympia last year, you think you would have won the New York Pro this weekend?
Yeah, I think I would have had a good shot. I mean, I don't want to be, I don't want to take anything away from any of those other guys.
No.
Right? But
and I don't either.
I definitely can see myself up there with the best of them. Yeah. And especially, and that's the thing is that, you know, you're asking me about the 212 weight of last year and where I could have been a little sharper, but I also could have been, I don't know if you saw at 6 weeks out, I guest posed for Dylan Armbrust over in Denver, Colorado last year.
Yeah.
I was like 222, 225, somewhere in there. And I had eaten, I worked out that day. I did cardio twice, worked out once, and been drinking all kinds of water all day and eating sodium, everything just normal. And I'm not saying I looked spectacular, but for an evening show, for an evening guest posing, 6 weeks out, I mean, my glutes and everything were pretty nasty. And I think if I gave myself a year, like a legit a year off season, I think I could come back from one Olympia to another and make significant improvements.
Hell yeah. I'm not doubting that. I just think with your structure, are you 5'6"?
I'll say it like this. I'll never be my best unless I step on stage at 235, 240.
Right. There you go. You can't do that at 212. So that's the answer. You're being too diplomatic here.
But the thing is, man, I want to win that 212, man. I don't want to. I have unfinished business. I want to win that 212 more than anything, man. And that's all I'm focused on right now.
I agree with you. And this is just for facetious.
It's hard to answer some of those kind of things because it's like, man, I know what I want to say, but somebody out there is going to take it and twist it and go.
That's why you got to learn not to care what people say, what people think. You got to say what comes to what's in your heart, and that way you'll never have to explain yourself because you told the truth. You know.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Say what's in your heart. One more thing. We want you to do a quick promo for us. Say, this is Derek Lunsford, 212 champion, and make sure you subscribe and hit the like button at the Boston Mass YouTube channel.
All right. Do you want my routing and account number real quick?
Yeah, would you? Come on.
I'll play. All right, you ready? Let me see if I can get this.
We just want to see if you can beat George the Bull's promo because he nailed it.
Shit! Now you're making me compare myself to someone else.
Oh yeah, dude, it's pressure. We compared you.
All right, tell me what to say.
Now George.
It's gonna be embarrassing, man. It's
You're
gonna be
in
like
big trouble. Let's go. Bring it on.
All right, what do you want then? What am I saying?
You make it up as you go. It just has something to do with subscribing to the channel and pushing the like button for content. Blah blah blah. This is Derek Lunsford. 212.
You just want to see me mess it up, and then you're gonna show the entire world.
We're going to show like 8 clips if you don't get it going. Let's go.
All right. This is Derek Lunsford, 212 Olympian. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now.
All right.
How about that?
Good. We're going to use it.
All right, man.
George so far. We tried to get Cardillo to do it last week, and he had no clue what we were doing. Yeah.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. It takes me like 4 or 5 times to do it. I'm like, delete. I'm like my fiance, dude. When she takes her like update pictures in the morning, she's like, I don't like the first, second, third, fourth, fifth one. It's always like the 10th photo. She look, she's there. She heard me.
So me and Nate were like dumbfounded at how talented George was. We're like, dude, he went on like a 15-second rant with not one mistake. And we're like, damn, that kid is good. Holy shit.
No, I have to keep it like.
Yeah. Well, the next day he posts a photo from a theater class he used to take.
Oh, cool.
He was like a drama queen in high school. He had, long dreads and shit. I'm like,
I actually did too. Did you know that?
No, I had no idea.
I was in plays, musicals, honors choir. I also wrestled and kicked ass too. But yeah,
I
man.
I knew you wrestled. I didn't know.
I liked it, but it just wasn't hardcore enough for me at the time,
Yeah.
Like I want to be a hardcore guy. I want to beat people up and then,
So do you still have a singing ability? Do you ever play an instrument?
I will not sing for public.
We're going to have to sing to our viewers, asking them to subscribe.
I do love to do like videoke or like karaoke. Like when we go to the Philippines, it's huge over there. So they'll like rent out rooms and stuff. So actually that's kind of why I wanted to get this place is that it's like, it's got a big open concept to where we're going to do karaoke in here, but that's not for public.
I want to hear.
That's for parties. Well, if one night, man, I'm feeling good or something, I'll post something and I'll make fun of myself, but otherwise.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, man.
Something to look forward to. Anyway, thank you so much. Keep training. We're going to see you in a couple of weeks. And
awesome.
We'll definitely get a minimum of another interview with you in person.
Cool.
And hopefully we'll get a workout in. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I would like that, man.
Peek of what you're looking like. It'll end up being like 12 weeks out at that point, right?
Yeah, it'd be good timing, man. Just in time to start locking it down, getting shredded.
Yeah, I bet you're looking gigantic right now.
Feeling good, man. Feeling good.
Good, good.
But yeah, man, let's why don't you message me here in a couple weeks right before you get there? You're gonna be there Friday to Sunday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's make it happen, man. Let's get a workout or something. I don't think I've actually trained with you before.
For sure. Well, I'm gonna have to start dieting and start taking my.
You're looking massive. Like your arms are big, man.
Well, that's all fake. I've been using synthol because I hate
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah.
That's the easy way.
It is. It is. So, yeah, thank you so much, brother. Listen, give your mom the best and wish her luck for me. And, and your grandma, Carol, I'm sure she'll be messaging me any minute now. But
Oh, yeah.
we'll be in touch. Thanks again, and good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the house.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate you guys. You, Jose, you, Nate. I really appreciate you guys having me on. And, yeah, man, look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Next time, I'll have Nate shut up because he talks a bit too much.
Nah, it's good, man.
Quiet him down.
I need to shut up. I need to ask you guys some questions.
No, you're good. You're the dream guest, man, because we don't have to pull anything out of you.
No, I just feel honored. I'm thankful, man. Like I said, I've looked up to you for so long. I still look up to you, man, in a lot of ways. And so when you asked me if I'd be on, I was like, absolutely, no question. So,
good. I appreciate that. And
yeah.
I look up to you, too, even though you're 20
Thank you.
years younger than me.
Yeah, you do look up to me. What are you, 5'2"?
Ah, the good day. Come on.
I had to make it.
Clarita said he's 5'2". I'm like 5'3.5", and I sky over him. He's gotta be 5 feet.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Derek.
See you, man.
Bye.